Okay, good morning to everybody. We're up to Kuf Tes Zayin Amid Aleph, Amid Days, Kuf Tes Zayin Amid Days, the Mishnah, the Mishnah. Um, so in the middle of Pashas Pinchas, you have a list of all the Shvatim, and the Torah tells us Ve'ela, and to these Techalik Aretz Benachla, Bismis Bashemes. According to these, you should divide the land. That's one pasuk. Now, as the parsha concludes and it goes into the next parsha, it says, "Vayom Hashem al Moshe leima, Cain benos slavchad doivrais nasan titin lehem achuz nachla besoch achi aviyem." Go give them a nachla besoch achi aviyem. Vavatas nachlas aviyem lehen, and give over the nachlas of the father to them. Okay, and then we have the parsha that we were discussing: Ben, Bas, father, brothers, uncles that we've been discussing until now. Now, Benos Slavchad's father obviously was Slavchad, and his father was Chefer. So, as a derech hakdama, there's going to be a machlokus in the Gemara as how to Eretz Yisrael was divided. Was it divided according to the people who left Mitzrayim, or divided according to the people who entered Eretz Yisrael? Our Mishnah is going according to the opinion that it was divided according to the people who left Mitzrayim. So, Chefer left Mitzrayim, and Slavchad left Mitzrayim. So those two people get a chelik in Eretz Yisrael. Chefer gets his chelik, Slavchad gets his chelik. Slavchad had sons, right? Slavchad had, Slavchad had daughters. And therefore they wanted to go ahead and inherit their father, who had no sons. Slavchad had no sons. They wanted to go ahead. Now, Slavchad himself was a Bechar. He was the Bechar of Chefer. So Benos Slavchad are going to get 3 chalakim. They're going to get the chelik of that they got from Slavchad. Since Slavchad did not have any sons, why should they be worse? They inherited, and this we know a Bas inherits. So they got the chelik of Slavchad. 2, they got the chelik of Chefer. Since they were in the place of Slavchad had brothers, but as we saw in yesterday's daf, a granddaughter inherits alone, and it will inherit the chelik of her father. So they got the chelik of Slavchad. They got Slavchad's chelik with his brothers, and then since Slavchad was a Bechar, they got that chelik as well. So they got, as we're going to see in the Gemara, 4 chalakim, but the Mishnah, according to the Mishnah, they got 3 chalakim. Says the Mishnah, okay? The Mishnah on Kuf Tesayin Amid Beis. Benois Slavchad not Gimel chalakim benachla. Benois Slavchad took 3 chalakim benachla. Chelik avihem shahoya im yotzim Mitzrayim. The chelik of their father Slavchad, who was one of the yotzim Mitzrayim. So that's one chelik. Again, Slavchad only had daughters; he did not have sons. The chelik im achiv benichse Chefer. Slavchad was a brother of other children of Chefer. Chefer was yotzim Mitzrayim. He left Mitzrayim. Right now, Chefer got a chelik in Eretz Yisrael, but he wasn't there. So Slavchad inherited Chefer's chelik. So the daughters inherited that chelik of Slavchad that he got from his father. That's a second chelik. Ushahoye Bechar, and since Slavchad was the Bechar to Chefer, Noitel Shnei Chalakim, he got Pishnayim. Now you might say, you only get Pishnayim what you're muchsikin. There's a din in Bechar that you only get Pishnayim and what you're holding on to. You don't get Pishnayim in Roy. We spoke about that. Something that's in the future is going to come, right? So that's only if it's considered Roy. It's unbelievable that it's considered that even though they left Mitzrayim, they weren't in Eretz Yisrael yet, they were considered muchsik in Eretz Yisrael. The Eretz Yisrael was considered theirs already. So it was not considered what? It was not considered Roy. And therefore they got that. So again, 3 chalakim. 1, as being the only descendants of Slavchad, daughters, even though they had no brothers, no male descendants, they received. Two, Slavchad received a chelik from being the son of Chefer. They therefore, as the Yotze Yerecha of Slavchad took that chelik, and since Slavchad was a Bechar, they took that second chelik, so therefore there's 3 chalakim in total. Now, as we spoke out, there's a machlokes how Eretz Yisrael is divided. Was it divided according to those who came into Eretz Yisrael, or divided according to those who left Mitzrayim? And we see it's a machlokes. Says the Gemara, Tana, Commander Amar, who does our Mishnah go according to? Who does our Mishnah go according to? It goes according to Manda Amar Li'etzim Mitzrayim Nisnalka. It goes into the Manda Amar that Eretz Yisrael was divided according to the chalakim. We're going to see 3 shitas, fellas. And this goes according to Shita number 1 and Shita number 3. Okay, the Tanya, Rabbi Yeshaya says, L'yotzim Mitzrayim Mischalka Aretz. Eretz Yisrael was divided up according to those that left Mitzrayim. Shneimar, L'shmois, the pasuk says, L'shmois matais avoisam yinchalu. According to the names of the tribes of their fathers, it was divided. In Chumash, it tells us that Chumash tells us avoisam is extra. It did not have to say the word avoisam. It could have said l'shemis matas yinchalu. What's the word avoisam telling me? Ella mani mekayim. No, excuse me. So what is avoisam? That Yotze Mitzrayim, the one who was avoisam, it's divided. So l'shmois matas avoisam yinchalu. We're going according to avoisam. They want their fathers. That's the so. What does that mean? That let's say Reuven and Shimon left Mitzrayim. Reuven had 1 kid and Shimon had 10 kids. They got to Eretz Yisrael. Shimon's not getting 10 chalakim. Shimon's getting 1 chelik, and Reuven's getting 1 chelik. Because since Yotze Mitzrayim, they're only 1 in 1. So when they came to Eretz Yisrael, it was 1 in 10. We don't go according to the way they come into Eretz Yisrael. We go according to what? We go according to Yotze Mitzrayim. That's good. Now, there's another problem, but Elamani Mekayim Le'ela Tichalik Aretz. I just read you that pasuk. To these they divide the land, meaning before they get into Eretz Yisrael, they make a census and they say to these the land should be divided. How can you just tell me you're going to Yotze Mitzrayim? You have a pasuk with a census saying right before they come into Eretz Yisrael, le'ela, to these the land should be divided. Mashma, it's divided according to boy aretz, right? The ones who are coming into Eretz Yisrael. What do you do with that pasuk? Says the Gemara, le'ela ko'ela, like ko'ela, le'hoitzi es hatfalim. Who left Mitzrayim, fellas? People who are over 20 years old. So just like those who left Mitzrayim are over 20 years old, so too Eretz Yisrael is divided according to 20 years old. Le'ela, ka'ela, excuse me, I said wrong shot. According to not Yotze Mitzrayim, the ones who went into Eretz Yisrael, the census was 20 and above. The census that we counted there in Parshas Pinchas is 20 and above. So just like there it's 20 and above, so too Yotze Mitzrayim was 20 and above. So too Yotze Mitzrayim was 20 and above. So now, the extra pasuk Avoisam tells me Yotze Mitzrayim. The comparison to Le'ela and those that left Mitzrayim had to be, who got it? Those who were over the age of 20. So we've gone ahead and used both psukim. Avoisam, Yotze Mitzrayim, Le'ela, Ka'ela, like those going to Eretz Yisrael in the census were 20, so too the ones inherited from Mitzrayim were 20 years old. Our Mishnah is going according to that, because clearly we're dividing the land based upon Chefer and Slavchad, who never made it into Eretz Yisrael. So how could they have a chelik? Both Chefer and Slavchad's chelik was based on the fact that we Yotze Mitzrayim. Guys, you clear? Guys, you clear? You good? Okay, now there's a second shita. Okay, there's a second shita. Rabbi Yonason says, "Levoye ha'aretz nischalka ha'aretz." It was divided according to what? According to those who came into Eretz Yisrael. So in the mashal, Reuven should get 1 chelik, and Shimon should get 10. When they left Mitzrayim, it was 1-1. When he got to Eretz Yisrael, it was 1-10. So if that's the case, those who come into Eretz Yisrael should get what? Should get 1, and the other one should get 10. If you're just going ahead by Yoretz. Shnema le'ela techalik Oretz benachla. Now you got a problem. What about avoisam? Elamani mekayim l'shmois matas avoisam. What am I mekayim l'shmas matas avoisam? Yincholu mishuna nachla zu yikol nachla sheba olam. This nachla of inheriting Eretz Yisrael was different than any other nachla in the world. Shekol nachla sheba olam. Usually, how does nachla work? Chayim yorshim mesim. The live, they inherit the dead. V'kan mesim yorshin chayim. And here, the mesim, they inherit chayim. Okay, very, very obscure. Let's do it outside, fellas, and we'll get a very understanding, and we'll answer a very, very difficult question. Let's go to our mashal. You have Reuven and Shimon leaving Mitzrayim 1-1. Coming to Eretz Yisrael 1-10. Good. So it should be either 1-1. Each one get equal chelik, or if it go according to Bar Yatz, 1-10. But it doesn't do that. The Mason, those who left Eretz Yisrael, they're going to inherit those who come into Eretz Yisrael. So what does that mean? You look at Eretz Yisrael when they came in, one's getting 1 and one is getting 10. We then go back and give it back to the Yotze Mitzrayim and divide that in half. So the 1 and 10, the 11, is going to be divided by the Yotze Mitzrayim, which were equal 1-1. So instead of 1-10, you're going to get 5.5 and 5.5. Again, one more time. There's two possibilities. If you only go according to those who leave Eretz Yisrael, equal 1-1. Or leave Mitzrayim 1-1. If you go according to those who enter Eretz Yisrael, again, this is based upon the example of the Rashbam, then it's 1 and 10. So where do we have the dead inheriting the live? That's the pasuk that says avoisam. Those that went into Eretz Yisrael, instead of going ahead and dividing 1 and 10, they now give it back to Mitzrayim. As they're like shluchim of Mitzrayim. They're giving him back to Mitzrayim. Okay, in Mitzrayim, it's 1-1. So I have 11 portions now, 10 and 1. It's going to be divided among 2 people. 2 and 2 to 11 is 5.5 and 5.5. And that's according to the Rabbi Yonasan, that Eretz Yisrael was divided that way. Clearly, that's not the Tana of our Mishnah. Again, our Mishnah is going to all Yotze Mitzrayim is getting a chelik. But that's the opinion of Rabbi Yonasan. So he's Mekayim the pasuk a different way. He's Mekayim that the live, the dead are inheriting the live. Because the live are 10 and 1, and the dead are 1-1, and they're inheriting the live, and therefore it's Meshunah than anything. So I listened before, I was listening to Rasuli Bornstein. He brought in 2 reasons for this very strange, why are you going back, taking into account Avoisam? If you want to say it's divided according to Eretz Yisrael, great. You left Mitzrayim, you come to Eretz Yisrael, you're going to live there, you get your 10, you get your 1. What's this whole thing of giving it back to the fathers? So he put two mefarshim. Right. One, the Sifsei Chachamim on the Torah. Sifsei Chachamim is one of the Pirushim and Rashi. And he said beautifully, we have a rule. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives a nevuah l'ra'ah, then he can change his mind. A nevuah l'ra'ah can change his mind. The biggest example would be Ninveh. He said Ninveh is going to be destroyed. We know Yonah went ahead and influenced Ninveh to do tshuva. But the Rambam in Hilchos Yisrael Torah tells us, if it's a nevuah l'toiva, ein a chayzer. Once the nevuah comes out of his mouth, ein a chayzer, it can't go back. A nevuah came out of Rabbi Shalom's mouth is that the people who leave Mitzrayim are going to inherit Eretz Yisrael. The people who went in the Bris Ben Abasarim, they're told to go to Mitzrayim, and B'yoma who, and that day, Kars Hashem Bris Lemar L'Zaracha Etenes Eretz Yisrael. The Bris Ben Abasarim, you were given Eretz Yisrael. So it comes out that the people in Mitzrayim, they never made it into Eretz Yisrael because of the chait of the Meraglim. But how could that be? If every nevuah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is ein a chayzer, how could it be that they didn't make it in? Says the Sisei Chachamim beautifully, fellas. That's pshat. That's why you have to take into account the avoisam. In order for I to go ahead and fill the nevuah that what? That you'll inherit Eretz Yisrael. Therefore, the one goes who come in, it reverts back, and it's like the avos inherited and then sent them as shluchim to go ahead and fulfill it. In order that Hashem's haftacha, the nevuah of Hakadosh Baruch Hu, the zarachayat and Esarazais, would be fulfilled. That's one pshat. That's one pshat. He brought in a second pshat from a sefer called the Be'er Mayim Chayim, from the brother of the Maral, and he said the bris bein habesarim was given like conditionally, like in other words, we find out in Perik Tesvav in Bereshis that Avram wants to know how wants he's going to get Eretz Yisrael. Kadosh Baruch Hu puts him to sleep. He cuts up animals and pizzas. He puts them to sleep. Smoke passes through, and he's promised. And he has this nevuah. And in his nevuah, he's told that his children will be in an Eretz Leilahem. And after 400 years, they're going to go out with a tremendous amount of materialism, tremendous things. Those people, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they were the ones who paid the chayv. They paid the chayv to inherit Eretz Yisrael. By going ahead and fulfilling the bris bein habesarim, there was a chiyuv to pay them back. After all, the whole purpose of the bris bein habesarim was that Avram gets Eretz Yisrael, his children get Eretz Yisrael, and who was the one who fulfilled that chayv? The Yitzim Mitzrayim. Says the Bir Mayim Chaim beautifully, therefore it was necessary to go ahead and fulfill the chayv to pay them back. And therefore, the boy Eretz Yisrael reverts back to Avaisam. So two reasons given beautifully why we go ahead and inherit in such a peculiar manner. Not directly the boy Eretz, but reverting back to Avaisam left Mitzrayim, either because of the nevuah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is ein a toiva is ein a chayzer, or because of the priyas chayv of the bris bein habesarim. Two very, very good reasons. L'kavod sukkos, I'm drinking esrog tea. This is citron tea. It's actually pretty good. Honey, citron, and ginger, to be exact. Okay, guys, geschmack. Guys, very geschmack. They're both a very nice reasoning for a very difficult, obscure. I thank you, Rav Sruli. It was very, very nice. Okay, so now we have now we give a mashal again. So again, it was 11 divided by 2. So he's going to give a much more simple mashal. Says the Amar Rabbi, says Rabbi, Emshilchem mashal ma David doimet l'shnei achim kahanim. You have two brothers kahanim. Shayu be'er achas. They were in one city. Le'echad yesh le ben acher. Ve'echad yesh le shnei banim. This one has 2 sons. This one has 1 son. V'hochu le'gayrin. They go to the gayrin. Zer sheyesh le ben echad. This one who has 1 ben. This one who has 1 ben. Noitel chelik echad. Zer sheyesh le shnei banim. Noitel shnei chalakim. He takes 2. So now they're going back to their parents who sent them on a mission together. So now they're going to divide up to 3. So not instead of 2 getting 1, instead of 10 getting 1, you're going to get what? 1.5 and 1.5, like the shluchim. They go back home and they divide it what? Equally. They divide it equally. So those are the 2 shittas. Rabbi Yoshia, that it was divided according to the ones who left Mitzrayim. According to Rabbi Yonasan, the one who entered Eretz Yisrael. A third shitta, Rabbi Shimon Elazar. I remember Shimon Elazar says Amid Beis, Le'elu u'le'elu nischalka. Both le'elu to Yitzim Mitzrayim was divided up, and nischalka haaretz ke'lekayim shnei megraisa lalu to each one. So you mekayim l'shemus mitzvos avoisam. It's mashma what the ones who left Mitzrayim, and le'elu to chalik haaretz. It's mashma ones who came to Eretz Yisrael. Haketzad. If the father was miyotzim Mitzrayim and not one who entered Eretz Yisrael, noit techelko miyotzim Mitzrayim. Hayaav miboy aretz. If the father was the one who entered Eretz Yisrael, not luchelik in boy aretz. We get a clear of this understanding tomorrow. Mikan, right? If it was both, then noit techelko mikan lekan. The Brisa will explain this more tomorrow. Hamiraglim. This is part of the Brisa. The Miraglim, right? Who took the chelik in the Miraglim is Yeshua v'kolev not l'chelkam. Hamisloinanim, the ones who complain, bi'adas kairach lehoylem chelik ba'aretz. They didn't get any chelik in Eretz Yisrael. The bottom of the Miraglim and the Misloinanim, not lu b'schus avi avim. They got the schus of their paternal grandfather. B'schus Aviyam Moisem, and their maternal grandfather. Again, it'll be explained tomorrow. My mashma, the Hailish Mois, Mater Savoisam, the Yaitz Mitzrayim, Ksiv. How do you know this pasuk speaking about Yaitz Mitzrayim? Dilmul Shvatim Kamalei. Maybe he was speaking to the Shvatim, not to the individuals. Maybe he was speaking to Shvatim, and the land is divided to 12 chalakim. That would be the easiest way to do it. How many Shvatim left in Mitzrayim? 12, 12. I'll say Levi doesn't get an achla. So when Levi doesn't get an achla, we'll count Yosef as what? As two, as Ephraim and Menashe. Okay, so why do you assume that it's Avaisam? Let's go ahead and just simply say it was divided according to the Shvatim. Dichsiv, I'll tell you why. Dichsiv, and Asati Yisam Lachem, my Rasha Ani Hashem. And the word my Rasha is Yerusha Hilachem Yavosechem. A Yerusha from their fathers will Yaitz Mitzrayim come along. And he was telling the Yaitz Mitzrayim. So therefore, the pasuk was speaking to the Yaitz Mitzrayim, they're getting a Moy Rasha from their fathers. Obviously, it's speaking about their fathers and not the Shvatim. Okay, good. Moya, thanks.